The hospital room in Lagos was silent, heavy with fear and uncertainty. Amara, a 35-year-old teacher, sat with her husband Obi as the doctor's words echoed, HER2 positive breast cancer. The diagnosis felt like a thief, threatening to steal the simple joys of her life, her family, her classroom, her future. Cancer had always been someone else's story, never hers. She thought of her children, the lessons she still wanted to teach, the stories left unread. The world outside continued in its chaotic rhythm, but for Amara, everything had changed. At home, familiar objects mocked her with their normalcy. That night, sleep eluded her. The doctor's words replayed endlessly in her mind. She was now a patient, a fighter, whether she wanted to be or not. For her children, for Obi, for herself, she had to find strength. Fear coiled in her gut, but beneath it a spark of defiance began to glow. The battle had begun. The chemotherapy ward was a place of quiet courage. Amara's treatment was aggressive. Doxorubicin, the red devil, and paclitaxel. She watched the crimson fluid enter her veins, hoping it would save her. Side effects hit hard, metallic taste, relentless fatigue, nausea, and hair loss. Each cycle stripped away pieces of her identity. Obi became her anchor, cooking, comforting and reminding her she was beautiful. Her children struggled to understand why their mother had changed. Chemotherapy felt like a slow dismantling, but she clung to hope. Nurses called her brave, but survival was her only focus. She pictured returning to her classroom, her children's laughter filling their home. That vision became her shield as she endured each treatment. She prayed the red devil would destroy only the cancer, not her. The crisis crept in quietly. Fatigue deepened, breath grew short, ankles swelled. Amara dismissed it as another side effect, until her heart pounded wildly and pain crushed her chest. Obi rushed her to the hospital. Urgent tests revealed the truth. The doxorubicin had poisoned her heart, severe cardiotoxicity. The very drug meant to save her had become a new threat. Chemotherapy was stopped, but her heart was left weakened. She was moved to cardiac care, hope fraying as her body rebelled. Her family prayed, but despair settled in. She'd never imagined the medicine itself could become the enemy. Trapped between two diseases, her future hung by a thread. The fight for her life had changed course. A young oncologist suggested a new approach, Pharmacogenomics, the study of how genes affect drug response. Amara's blood was sent for genetic testing, searching for answers in her DNA. The wait was agonizing, but the results were clear. She had unique variations in the ABCB1 and CYP3A5 genes, making her body unable to process standard chemotherapy safely. For her, the usual dose was a toxic overdose. The mystery was solved. It wasn't her fault, but biology. Her genetic code had made her vulnerable to the cure. Now her doctors had a new language, a way to tailor treatment to her. The test unlocked a safer, more effective path. Personalized medicine had become her lifeline. So, with this genetic insight, Amara's doctors abandoned the one-size-fits-all approach. The red devil was gone. Targeted therapy for HER2 positive cancer began. This new drug attacked only the cancer cells, sparing her heart. Side effects eased, her energy returned, and her heart began to heal. She was no longer a casualty of her own cure. Hope blossomed as her treatment became personal. Amara became an active partner in her fight, not just a patient. She saw herself again, a mother, a wife, a teacher. Months later, scans showed the tumors shrinking. Her story became a quiet legend in the hospital. She survived because her doctors asked not just what drug treats cancer, but what drug is right for her. The answer changed everything. Her life was saved by the science of her own genes. Amara's story is a glimpse of Africa's future. On the world's most genetically diverse continent, one-size-fits-all medicine fails too many. Pharmacogenomics can save lives, prevent harm, and make treatments more effective. Imagine doctors across Africa using genetic tests to choose the safest, best medicine for each patient. The potential is immense, but challenges remain. Labs, training, and education are needed. We must invest in African science and demystify genomics for all. This is a call to action for governments, researchers, and partners. Amara's life was saved because the right question was asked. Let's make that question standard practice. By embracing our genetic diversity, we can build a healthier, more equitable future, one life at a time.